welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner. And on today's episode, we're going to be making Piggy cookies, which are extremely easy. You can basically make these in your sleep. I'm serious. They're that easy. We're going to need 2 cups of flour, or, like I like to do, let's count this out in case you don't have a measuring cup, with a tablespoon. So remember, heaping. Let's go heaping scoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 scoops, tablespoons. Okay, we're also going to need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So let's put that right into the flour. Now with this, you do have to scrape it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to need cinnamon, Hershey's cocoa powder. We're going to need 1 stick of butter. We're going to need either, my homemade vanilla is disappearing fast, as you can tell. Boo-hoo-hoo. Okay, you're going to need vanilla, brown sugar, and powdered sugar. And see, this is a cookie recipe where it's basically all dry ingredients. And oh yeah, one more thing. I'm gonna substitute 1/2 cup, 1/3 cup of milk with 1/3 cup of coconut milk, and that's perfectly fine. If you just want to add, you can add 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. You get the idea. So we're gonna added the baking powder. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and again level it off. We're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So let me get my handy dandy scoop out. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then press it down a little bit. So 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. Plop it right in. Then we're going to need 1 1/2 teaspoon cocoa powder. So again, level that off. 1, or hit it on the side of the bowl. 1. Boy, this is, there we go. And then 1/2. And you can just guess it. If you have a little bit more in there, no big deal. It just makes the cookies taste that much better. That's the way I look at it. Okay. Now we're going to throw our utensils all over the place. We're going to stir that in. And we're going to take our butter, take a knife, and what we're going to do is we're going to chop our butter into little pieces, just like little dabs of butter. Just throw them in there. And what's really, really neat about this recipe is there's no egg. It's all dry ingredients. And the only wet ingredients you're going to put into it is, well, semi-wet, is the butter, the vanilla, and either the milk or the coconut milk. This requires no egg. So now we're going to play masseuse, because you're going to stick your hands in there and you're going to just pinch the butter. Just pinch it and just work it in. What we want to do is we want to get this all until it looks like breadcrumbs. And if you have a pastry knife, that works too. But there's nothing like getting your hands into the mixture, because then it is truly hand mixed. Everything's done with the food processor nowadays. Just turn the button on, it's pulverized. And if it works for you, great. But food processors, when you do it by hand, you get all these different variations of sizes of the butter chunks. And then when you look at the dough, you can actually see the butter chunks in the what you're making. And we have a really hard piece of brown sugar, but that's okay. That happens. And it pulverizes the butter. And when it pulverizes the butter, it will come out in a different texture. Now I know some people are like, well, I don't want to get my hands dirty. You know, it's all depends on what you're used to. But it's just, there's something about doing bread, doing cookies, doing Piggy cookies. Now traditionally, you should have a Piggy shaped cookie cutter for these. I don't. I have a round cookie cutter, and I have like some flower shaped cookie cutters. I like the round. I like just the round because it looks like a little muffin, or it just looks, I don't know, it looks good. It looks delicious either way. I mean, you can use a baseball bat. You can use a cookie cutter. There's so many different types of cookie cutters nowadays that it's crazy. Okay, so this is looking really good. And this is one of the things that this is excellent for kids to make. It's simple, it's easy, and there's not much to it. Just get the kids on a step stool, or if they can get the teenager in the room, have them do this, and it teaches them how to make something for themselves. I'm not saying this is going to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it's this is cooking with kids is a family event. Highly recommended. Okay, so this is all looking crumbly. Get my. So see how this is all mealy? And you can see the butter is all worked in really well. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the coconut milk, shake it up real good, get the can opener, and make sure you have a little container that you can put right directly into the freezer, because I like to freeze it. And again, add it with the tablespoon, 1 tablespoon at a time. What we're going to do is we're going to make a real soft dough. It's not going to take it's not going to have a lot of liquid in it. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. And then you can see that around the edges, that's the cream. That's pure coconut cream. That's very good for cooking and cookies. And set that over there. So let's get our tablespoon out, there it is, inside the box. So let's do 1, 2, and get some of that cream out of there too. 3 tablespoons. Now let's work this in. We're not going to put it into the to be frozen just yet, because we're going to work this in. That was 3 tablespoons so far. And what I like to do is I like to take my spatula and cut into the flour as you're mixing it with a liquid, because that really, you'll start to feel the, when you put your hand in, you'll start to feel the dough. You can feel the dampness of the coconut. And if you can look, I can actually take it and ball it up. See that? But it's still too crumbly. Just keep on working it in. You'd be surprised how far wet, I mean like a few, just 3 tablespoons in it, it's damp. So let's add 2 more. Got some nice big cream chunks right there. Yummy. Let's add 2 more. And let's work that in. So it's 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, it requires it to be chilled, but you know, this doesn't need to be chilled. It's just so you can work with it better. And I just put it right out, take the cookie cutters and put it right out, and voila, cookies. And also you want a pan that's also been sprayed. And when you spray it, make sure you're about I'm not going to spray it, get about an inch away, real fast. And you can also use a stick of butter. So just work this in really, really good. Just keep on chopping into it. Because we don't want this too wet. And you can see it is on the, it's very sticky on the spatula. Okay, let's get our hands into it. Looking at the time. I made this video once before and I went over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll it into a ball. Just keep on. It's the same concept with the corn tortillas. Just keep on, get it into a ball. It's all going to stick together. Just smash it. And as you can see, I got a ball. Now, if it's a little bit dry, so we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're like, you're looking at it, it's a little too dry, let's add 1 more. Scoop at the bottom. That should be enough. Let's stick that over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come right back because my timer is going a little bit, gonna leave me not having a video, so I'll be right back.